this group here and by the facility here in the support centre. So we're very well aware of the work of Cancer Care West and very appreciative of it. As has been well said by the prior speakers, cancer knows no boundaries. There's no question it touches every family and goes across every community. So what a better partnership then with an organisation that goes across every community, the GAA, and what a better association between the Galway GAA footballers and the Galway Cancer Services. As you may know now, cancer services in Ireland are organised into several centres in Dublin and Cork, and Galway has become the centre for the west of Ireland, from Donegal down to Clare and all the way into the Midlands. So a lot of the care is being focused here in Galway, and it's fitting therefore that Galway organises itself around that care. So the partnership between the GAA and Galway in terms of cancer services is a very, very fitting and appropriate one. And as has been also well stated, getting information out around cancer care and cancer diagnosis is critical. The earlier we get the information out, the better. And that early awareness and early education does save lives. So whether it be a PSA for men in prostate cancer, whether it be a mammogram for women, whether it be a bowel test for bowel cancer, the earlier we go for those tests, the better. And one of the biggest opportunities I see with this partnership is the ability to get that information out across the community. So again, this partnership will do so much, not just for the association doing Cancer Care West and Galway, but for actually improving outcomes and saving lives. And that's a tremendous thing. There's also a well documented international benefit to getting a sport associated with men's and with women's health. Sport is synonymous with health, and the earlier we get the information out around sport and the connection with sport, and believe it or not with cancers, there's documented benefit internationally in better results. So this is all good. And you can't but miss or fail to notice the buzz in the room tonight. I think this is evident to me, and it's going to be a wonderful partnership going forward. Everything on the medical side, from the physicians through the nurses, through all the workers here at Cancer Care West, will be done to support this. And congratulations for those who put it together. Thank you.
Also, another director of Cancer Care West would like to speak to you, and again, Frank mentioned her earlier on, Ruth Curtis.
Distinguished guests, I would like to join my colleagues in warmly welcoming this fantastic collaboration between GAA and partnership with Cancer Care West. Where we're sitting at the moment here is the support centre, which was opened a couple of years ago. And the reasoning behind it was that we all know that a diagnosis of cancer can cause great distress and pose a lot of challenges that have to be met, not just by the person who's been diagnosed with cancer, but by their families, their friends, and their carers. Research has demonstrated clearly that the stress of a diagnosis of cancer can be managed, and resilient coping strategies can be taught to people to help them enhance their adjustment and their quality of life. And so in this organisation, this support centre, our full-time professional staff of psychologists and nurses offer evidence-based supports, both on an individual level, on a one-to-one basis with somebody if that is what's needed, or on a group basis with a group of people, maybe with a common type of cancer diagnosis, or maybe just with a common type of problems. It is well documented that these interventions work and really improve the lives of people who are affected by cancer. So we are very pleased in Cancer Care West that we offer an evidence-based psycho-oncology service in the community. As you see from where we are, we're not actually in the hospital, we're very near it, which is very useful because, of course, all our work complements the medical treatment of the patients who are diagnosed with cancer and the different treatments they may have. But our strength, I think, is that we're based in the community, and as other people have said today, there isn't a place, a town or a parish that the GAA is not involved in, and we look forward enormously to raising the level of awareness, particularly among men, about seeking help or diagnosis at an earlier stage, and also in encouraging them, once diagnosed, and their families, to come to Cancer Care West, this support centre, where, as well as psychological support and nurse oncology support, we also offer a variety of complementary therapies, as in yoga, massage, tai chi, and we run classes in writing and in art. And a number of people who have come through our doors who have never written something before or made a piece of art before have found another dimension to their lives. So again, in line with everybody else, I warmly welcome this partnership. I think it's just fantastic news for Cancer Care West, and indeed I hope for the GAA as well. Thank you very much.
Well, one person that has always been, in my mind, part of Galway football and the Galway GAA scene also, apart from Jay and Bernie and so on, down through those years, is our next speaker, who's John Joe Halloran. And John Joe has just been such a part and parcel of Galway football. It's hard to imagine Galway football without him, but anyway, he is the chairman. John Joe.
We're Nagaliva, Kaharagus Akonda, Ukran Kumaluk, Glasgow, Agus Kaharja League. Boyle and Weiss, Blackwell, Huluna, Hanakan Shanok, Agus Boyle and Forge, Galway, Huluna. On behalf of Galway Football, it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you here tonight, and to thank you, first of all, for your presence and for your enthusiasm. But most important of all, I'm delighted to be here on behalf of Galway Football to join with you in announcing this evening this partnership with Cancer Care West. And as Frank said earlier, it's not a question of sponsorship as we know it in the old days. It's a wonderful partnership that we are excited about going forward into the future. And as the speakers on my left have said, that it's more or less an educational awareness, in particular in men as well. And our good secretary, our very efficient Secretary Seamus O'Grady and Mile, our treasurer, and indeed both our PROs, will be carrying this message in all of the programmes that we'll be doing in the games that we'll be going forward in, so that maybe when you are sitting in Castlebar, and hopefully we'll have a good result that day too, when we are sitting there and when you have an opportunity to read the programme, that you may find a message in it that might ring a bell with somebody that will say, maybe I should get checked as well. I would like to offer apologies tonight for the Minister of Sport, Michael Ring, who cannot be here with us, and Eamon O'Keefe as well, who is out of the country. Michael, of course, is not out of the country. He's busy now with his new position, and as a Mayo man, of course, we'll look forward to meeting him and some great battles with him. But I'm sure in his way that he would make a big contribution to sport in the coming few years. So there's no doubt about it, all our families right across the entire spectrum of the countryside have fallen victim at some stage or other. But one of the things I would say in coming here to, first of all, to your residential residents, and then here to this place here, it's wonderful the facilities that's provided for people, and it's difficult enough when somebody is diagnosed and which is later with cancer, but they have to get up and get on with their lives in the best way they possibly can. And this couldn't be achieved by them without the enormous support from people like Richie, and Richie incidentally played full back for us for 3 years during my own reign as manager. I don't know how good we got on, Richie, but certainly you're a great performer, and I have no doubt that you're going to do equally well with Cancer Care West here. But of course, the most notable of all, of course, was a man who served Galway communities down through the years, and that was our former IFA President, John Donnelly. And he has served us so well throughout Europe and throughout the vast countries of Europe, indeed promoting Irish agriculture, but in particular promoting an Irish ethos. And it's great to see him. John is battling himself with his own difficulties, but he is surviving, and like Cúnaige, he will make that survival. And it's great to see him putting so much back. And I think at this stage, if anybody deserves a round of applause. when it came about that we were in the market for a sponsor and looking at various bodies, and it's not true to say that it would be difficult for us to get one. It would always be possible for Galway GAA to acquire a sponsor, wherever that would be. But Walter, my own son, who looks after all the gear for